Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tank be chopping, and I'm back with another haircut tutorial. Alright guys, what we gonna be doing on this cut is a number 8 on top, like a mid-low fade. We're keeping the V in the back, and I'll explain it when I get to that. As y'all can see, he's got a lot of hair on top. He's got a mullet going on right now. I asked him if he wanted to keep it, and he told me no. So I tried talking him into keeping the mullet, but he just said it's too hot. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But nonetheless, guys, as you can see, I got my number 8 guard on my Gamma Rebel, or I'm sorry, my Gamma Boosted, and I'm going over the top of my client's hair, just getting all this down to that desired length. And as you can see, it's mowing through that bulk, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just taking all that bulk down fairly easily. And that's the good thing about this clipper, guys. It's really powerful, and it debulks really well. And I just want to state that this was a new client of mine. This was actually my first time cutting his hair. A lot of times, if I have time to cut, if I have time to record, I try to get, as much content as I can, you know what I'm saying? So if I got time, whether I did your hair on YouTube before or you're a new client, if I got time, I'm gonna try to record it. I'm gonna try to get some content and put it out there for YouTube, because that's what your boy does. But nonetheless, guys, as y'all can see, taking off the back of the mullet area, getting all that down to that number 8 first, and then after that, I'm gonna see what needs to be done to this backside, because like I said, he did want to keep a V, not necessarily a mohawk, but y'all see it when I get into it. So now I'm taking my Snap FX trimmer and I'm setting in my initial guideline. And as you can see, I am punching it in. I know a lot of times people say don't punch that line in, but honestly, I don't think it makes that big of a deal. It is slightly harder to take out when you punch that line in, but it's not super hard. If you have the right techniques to get it out, you can get it out fairly easy. But if you're not comfortable with punching it in, I get it, I understand. Just go up and start using a slight flick out motion when you get to the area that you want your guideline to be at. But a lot of times I just punch it in because it makes it makes for an easier way to see what I'm actually doing, and it makes my guideline easier to make, and it makes it look nicer. And as y'all can see, I'm doing the same thing to the opposite side. And if y'all are paying attention, I did leave some hair in the C-cup area, and the reason for that is I want to leave that hair there when I start to line up that C-cup. And then as y'all see in the back area right here, I'm gonna start to create a V shape, because like I said, guys, it's not really a mohawk, you know what I'm saying? The mohawk comes a lot further down, so it was just more like a mid, kind of like a mid drop fade, but he wanted to keep the back bulky. So y'all gonna see it when I'm getting to it, guys, and y'all probably seen this type of cut on Instagram or on TikTok or on YouTube before. This was my first time actually doing a cut like this. I've done cuts similar, like wider mohawks in the back, but none quite like this. So I'm gonna try to explain to the best of my ability, because it was my first time cutting it, so it wasn't something that I was really fluent with. But for the most part, I think I did a good job. But as y'all can see here, guys, I'm going in with my FX3 shaver. In my opinion, this is one of the best shavers out right now. It gets bald super quick, super easily. But you want to be careful. Like, as you can see, as I get closer to that initial guideline, I'm not putting as much pressure, and I'm using a slight flick out motion. That way I don't create too harsh of a line. Now in the back, it really don't matter on this haircut, because he wants a good defined line back there. We're not fading the back part out at all, so I wanted to make sure that I went all the way up on that part. But towards the sides, we're gonna fade in. I wanted to make sure I was using that flick out motion and relieving some of that pressure. That way it wasn't as hard to take that line out. Alright guys, so now I'm actually moving on to debulking. Normally I debulk with a 4. I think that's what I'm doing here. I think this is my number 4 guard. Normally I only use a 4 on the sides. Like, I'll debulk with a 4 and then I'll go from there. But I think since his hair was so long and the type of hair texture that he has, it does come out, it grows outward. It doesn't necessarily grow straight down. So it was a little more difficult for me to fade this number 4 guard into the 8 on top. So I decided to use other guards. But y'all see it right now. As you can see, I'm just following that same shape. And in the back, I'm trying not to go too far in the back, because once again, guys, he wants to keep that in the back. And as you can see, I am using a slight flick out motion, just floating that clipper up towards that, once I get close to that parietal ridge area. And see, I think this is my number 6. So I went in with a 4 first, and I was like, you know what, let me get my number 6 guard. It's not doing what I wanted to do. And then after the 6, I moved on to the 5. So basically that fades into my number 4. And I do this because it's a lot easier to fade to a number 4 than it is to fade into like number 6 or an 8 or scissors. I try to simplify it for me. So as y'all can see, I have my gamma boosted once again in my hands. I got my lever all the way open. I'm setting in my next guideline, and I'm gonna follow that same shape, but I'm not gonna come all the way to the back. So you'll see how far I come on this side in a second. So I'm stopping about right there, because in the picture that he showed me, that's about where the fade stopped, and then you can see a harsh line. And I am using a slight flick out motion, trying to be nice and consistent with it. Not too focused on making this the straightest of lines, because we're gonna fade this out anyways, but you do wanna make it pretty straight, you know what I'm saying? That way you have a good guideline, or I'm sorry, a good foundation of what's going on. And as you saw me do right there, I did close my lever halfway, and I'm coming halfway into this section using a slight flick out motion, and then I'm gonna close my lever a little more, and I'm gonna start attacking that bottom line. And you could take as much time on this as you need, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to kind of skim through it when I'm doing the haircut at first. I skim through this pretty quickly, and then I come back and I detail. And I spend a lot of time detailing, guys. Like, sometimes the haircut looks good in the videos, but like in person, I have to go back and detail it even more. So sometimes I don't record myself detailing everything, but for the most part, I try to. And this is my number 1 guard. So my next step is taking that 1 guard lever open, coming up another section. And as you can see, I am playing it a little safe. Normally I would raise this a little more, but since this was my first time cutting this client, I didn't want to mess up, basically, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what his hair did when I was fading, so I wanted to see what it was doing first. So I only came up about ½ an inch or so, still using a slight flick out motion towards the top of this section, or where I want the top of the section to be. And then I close my lever all the way, and I start attacking that bottom line. And that may or may not get this line out completely. Perfectly fine. Once again, guys, I can always come back in with that 0 guard or that 1/16 guard and clean that up. And as you can see, that's what I'm doing here. So I'm pretty sure I started off with the lever all the way open, maybe halfway open. For the most part, I do halfway, but it just depends on what I see. And then I adjust my lever as needed. And then I move on to my 1.5 guard lever all the way open, setting in another section, following that same shape. We want to make sure that we follow the same shape through the whole haircut. That way we have this shape as an end product. And then what I'm gonna do after this is I'm gonna close my lever and come right below this with that 1.5 guard. And in theory, that should fade everything out, but you know, due to discrepancies and dents in people's hairs or dents in their head and, you know, ridges, sometimes it doesn't. You have to go back in and detail it. So this is my number 3 guard lever open, and the reason why I'm using a number 3 guard is because I already debulked with a 4, so I know a 3 guard is the next guard below that. So I'm gonna start fading down to that 1.5 guard. That way this blend just comes together. And as you saw me do right there, I did close my lever, and I'm coming right below what I did with my lever open. And to me, guys, this is the easiest way to fade. I know there's a bunch of different ways to fade, and this is just what works for me. I've been doing it for a good amount of time. Now, sometimes I will put other techniques in practice, but when I'm in a rush or when I want to make sure I give my client a good haircut, I do this technique because it's just easier for me, and I just feel that it gives a good product. So now this is the guard right below my 3 guard, which is obviously number 2 guard, lever open, coming right below what I did with my number 3, and then I'm gonna close my lever and come right below that. And as y'all can see, towards the front of the haircut, the blend already looks a lot better than what it does towards the back. And that's typical, guys. That's normal. A lot of times towards the back of the blend, you know, the back of the head area, it's more dense. That's where we have more ridges. Just the hair is just thicker hair right there. We have more hair follicles in that area, so sometimes it's harder to fade, and that's perfectly fine, guys. Just take your time, go through your steps, clean everything up, you know, detail as needed. And I believe that is my 1.5 guard. Yeah, that was my 1.5 guard. So after the 2, I use my 1.5, and basically I'm gonna fade all the way back down. So now this is my number 1 guard, adjusting my lever as needed, doing some lever play. I may start off with the lever all the way open, may start off halfway, may start off closed, just depends on what I see and what needs to be done. And if you want to play it safe, always start with your clipper on the lever all the way open. And now I'm gonna go ahead and line up my client in the front. He didn't want his edge up too far pushed back, but he did want it kind of flush with his natural hairline, so that's what I'm doing here. And as you can see, I'm just moving ever so slightly to the right side of my client's head. Well, it's his left side, but it's, you know, I'm moving towards the right. And then I get to that vertical bar, hit that vertical bar, hit that C cup, and then this is gonna help me identify more discrepancies, more dark areas, just discrepancies that I can see in the cut. For some reason, guys, every time I put this lineup in, it helps me see everything a little better. So I go back, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going back in and detailing. And when you detail, guys, I don't have a set, how can I say that? I don't have a set structure for detailing. I just use whatever guards I feel are needed. So if you're scared to go in and detail because you don't know what exactly is needed, basically do your steps all over. You know what I'm saying? Like, use your biggest guard and work down, or use your smallest guard and work your way up. Just be very, very careful. You know what I'm saying? But that was the left side of the haircut. I did not record the right side of the haircut, but this is me lining up the left side of my client's head, or the right side of my client's head. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, man. But nonetheless, guys, I did record me doing this edge up, and that's what I'm doing here, showing y'all how I get a nice crisp lineup. Hit that vertical bar, hit that C cup, and see, that's why I left a little bit of hair in the front towards the C cup area, because I wanted to leave some hair to give him a nice little C cup. And then now in the back, I did slow the video back down, because obviously it was sped up, right? I'm debulking this a little bit because I didn't like the way it looked with an 8, so I believe this may be a 6 or a 4. And the reason why I'm doing this is because he wants lines in between, like basically following that V shape in the bottom of this haircut. So I wanted to debulk that area a little bit, and now I'm going to set in these lines. Now I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all, guys. I'm gonna be really transparent with y'all. I really don't like doing designs. I'm not the best at designs. You know, I don't have a steady hand. Everyone always asks, like, bro, how do you cut hair and you don't have a steady hand? Well, you don't need a steady hand to cut hair. You just have to know how to adapt to your situation. So I learned how to cut hair without having a steady hand. But still, when it comes to designs and stuff, sometimes I get like a little, I don't want to say nervous, but I guess you can say nervous, because I'm not the best at designs, and I know I'm not. But nonetheless, he wanted it, so I attempted it. May not be the best, and you know, in my opinion, it's not. But my client liked it, and I guess that's what really matters. But when it comes to designs, I can do like little parts, little, you know, just little parts in the hair, you know, a little squiggly here and there. But you know, with hard parts I can do, that's obviously easy, right? But like harder designs, I'm not comfortable doing. I'll try them if you really, really want me to, but most of the time I stick to like 2 or 3 designs. But this is the type of design that he wanted. He just wanted like a V in the back, so I did that. And then now I'm going in with the razor, cleaning all these lines up, making everything look super, super sharp. And I didn't add enhancements, but as you can see, that front C cup is nice and dark, and that's the look I was going for. I wanted to make it nice and dark, that way you can actually see the curve and everything. And remember, guys, when you're using that razor blade, make sure you stretch that skin. That way you lessen the chance of nicking your client. I'm not saying it's going to stop you from nicking your client, because I still nick my clients every now and then, but it will lessen the chance. And then I'm doing the same thing to this part, just getting it nice and razored for him. And that's basically the cut, guys. Y'all going to see the finished product here in a minute. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I could have did a little better on this haircut. Not the best haircut that I gave out, but I think it was still a good haircut, especially for me cutting him, you know, this being my first time cutting his hair, not knowing exactly what his hair did. And it was a difficult cut. It was I can't speak properly. It's an unorthodox type cut, so it was a little different for me, but nonetheless, we got the job done. He liked it, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's all that really matters. But check it out, guys. Here is the before look. This is how my client came in looking. As you can see, he had the mullet. And this is the finished product. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this haircut in the comment section. If y'all like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if new to my channel, make sure and subscribe one time for your boy. Remember, guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area and you want a haircut from your boy, you can go to my website, tanbychopping.com. You can book on there. If you want it to be for YouTube, make sure to put that in the comment section. If you like any of these tools you see in my video, I do have the link in my description. You can use my discount code TANK10, save yourself a little bit of money. I appreciate it, guys. That's basically it. Until next time, let's go. Yeah.